Good morning, this is Colin Clark, editor of Breaking Defense. I'm in the Bell Textron V280 prototype. It's fair to call it a prototype, right?
I would say that there are elements of the advanced vehicle concept demonstrator that are prototype ready. When you look at what Bell has been able to do with the next generation step with the tilt rotor that the 280 represents, built for assault, built to be reliable and maintainable from the start. All those things were designed in. And then the cost of manufacture and cost of sustainment was designed out. So is it a prototype? It is ready for the next step into an EMD very, very soon. What we're working on with the services is getting their final take on the requirements. The services have been conducting analysis of alternatives for a little bit now, and we are very interested in hearing what they come to as their final requirements going into the next step. It's leveraging the Joint Multi-Role Tech Demonstrator effort, a science technology effort. Very intelligent step by the services to invest some money in the rotorcraft development. 5-to-1 investment, industry to the government. So industry is very curious to see how we take this next step together. And that's what the requirements will mean to us.
And that's Rob Vreeland.
I'm a government relations director for Bell. Yes, Rob Vreeland is my name.
And we're looking at a very cool cockpit in here. Looks maybe too much like a video game. Is this going to be what you're likely to see in this aircraft?
So we don't know for sure. This is a demonstration of some of the capability that's available. We are working very closely with Lockheed Martin, leveraging some of the technology that we've seen in the JSF, the Joint Strike Fighter, before. It's the same way that we've iterated our design with the 280, that Bell has then taken this step from the V-22, all the effectiveness, all the survivability of a V-22, and then adding to it designs that take into account the lessons learned on the suitability side. Some of the reliability, maintainability that we worked through for the first decade of use of V-22 built in to the 280, all those lessons learned. So the same thing goes with Lockheed Martin. You can talk to Lockheed Martin to see what they think about all these things, but what we're observing is the pilotage distributed aperture system that is on the demonstrator. We might see a demonstration of that coming up very, very soon.
So that's similar to the one the F-35's got, the DAS, distributed aperture?
Similar system to what the F-35 has, but upgraded from that position. So again, the lessons learned that you bring in the next design, which is very much in keeping with Bell's approach as an innovative technology company. So from a cockpit perspective, if you design the aircraft with a modularized open system approach to the architecture, you can iterate the design any way you see fit. Could it be something like this? If this is a requirement that's levied by the services, yes, it could be something like this. If the services have a different idea, then with an open approach to the architecture, it is less expensive and less time consuming to bring in that new design in the aircraft. And that's an important thing to keep in mind for the life cycle of the aircraft. That drives down cost of ownership for whoever starts to fly this aircraft in the near future.
Okay, let's go to the back and have a peek.
Okay.
Rob, you're sitting in really the reason this aircraft's being designed. Tell us a bit about the aircraft's capacity, especially compared to the V-22, and how it differs conceptually and in terms of what you've been able to demonstrate so far.
Okay, I appreciate that question. First off, you want to keep in mind that a V-20, when you look on the spectrum of future vertical lift aircraft, a V-22 is a capability set 4-ish size airframe. This is a capability set 3. And what the services, it appears that the Army, the Marine Corps, and Special Operations Command are doing is they're finding the next step they want to take together in the next generation of aircraft that brings all the lessons and the effectiveness and survivability of a V-22, and then drive out the cost in procurement and drive out the cost in sustainment, so larger fleets, you can afford to operate larger fleets of aircraft. So what Bell has done is Bell has developed the V280, and the V280 takes all those lessons, all the things we know from flying 400,000 operational hours on V-22s, very successful aircraft, highly demanded, the most demanded aircraft by the combatant commanders, the V-22. We took all those lessons, what to do very, very well from an effectiveness and survivability standpoint with the configuration of a tilt rotor. And then we also drew in the lessons learned that we've worked through for the first 10 years or 11 years now of operational employment to design from the start to have a simplified design that's much, much cheaper to manufacture, which means it's cheaper to procure, plus drive in on the reliability, maintainability, and the nacelles. So this aircraft, in a generational shift, has all those important affordability and sustainability factors involved. But what you see from the outside when you look at the aircraft is it is purpose-built as an assault aircraft. Now, instead of a ramp, it has two sliding 6-foot doors on the sides, side-facing seats, and nothing turning and burning below 7 feet as you enter or exit the aircraft. This aircraft is designed to bring people to the battlefield and be very, very survivable while doing it, because nothing is more survivable on the battlefield right now than a V-22 or effective on the battlefield. So we get all those characteristics in this aircraft, and now we have the side-facing doors, we have the side-facing seats, we have crew-served weapons that are available coming into an objective area. This is designed for assaults.
So when you hit the ground, you've got your gun, you've got fully loaded guys with a combat load.
Yes, so from a planning perspective for the troops, we plan on the weights that we've experienced that have been experienced by the services in Iraq and Afghanistan. You know, things have changed. Back in the years when not everybody was wearing body armor everywhere they went, now everybody's wearing at least 40 pounds of body armor, and you carry a lot of stuff with you when you go into combat these days. Well, this accounts for that. In our design, we accounted for the heavier soldiers or Marines or airmen or sailors coming off the aircraft. And we're very happy with what we've seen so far in test. Bell has been flying this aircraft since December of 2017. We've got over 65 hours on our aircraft so far, up flying. We have over 150 hours of ground turn time. All the assumptions, all those changes, all those lessons learned that we incorporated from V-22, we've had a chance now to see in test if our assumptions for the thermal, acoustic, and vibratory environment were accurate, and they are. So last year, when we were in here, we thought we had a good story. Now we know we do. And we're looking forward to taking the next steps once we understand the requirements fully from the services.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate the time, and I enjoy what Bell has brought forward, and I'm happy to be a part of it.